we've been laying this fiber, and we've covered about half of the country. And now we have secured additional resources to extend this fiber to the rest of the country, including extending what we call last mile connections. Because this fiber, it has a super highway, but also want to do, if I can use the example of roads. You see, you have, where do you come from? You, the cameraman. Mbale. Aha. You have this road from Kampala to Mbale. This is the Kampala, Mukono, Jinja. Mbale, you can, Tirinyi Road, Iganga, Tirinyi Road. You can call that a super highway. But there are roads which branch off that connect. Say in Jinja, there's a road going to Kamuli. Although many roads branching off are not tarmacked. But again, when you are going to Mbale now, there's a road going to Palisa, which connects with Kumi. They are still part of the superhighway, but they are maram roads which connect to deep inside. So even as we construct this NBI, the National Backbone Infrastructure, we do the main highway, but also we are going to do the last mile connections to connect the fiber to district headquarters, to government health facilities, schools, and other installations. So in the next 2 years, we should be able to address the question of connectivity from corner to corner, because we would want all the people in Uganda to have access to internet and digital services that are affordable. We also are going to intensify the issue of e-government, automation of government transactions. Over the years, we've been able to register a lot of progress. I'm sure those of you who deal with the government, you see that progressively a number of services are being digitized and digitalized. Like say, if you want a driving permit, it is now much more faster than it was in the past. We have, for instance, constructed a land management information system. Maybe it's not yet at the level where we want it, but now obtaining a land title, the process is digitalized to a very large extent. The passport, the same. The payment system is digital. In the past, do you know, for those of you who are old enough, there's a time when the salaries would be paid, and places like Bundibujo, they would fly money in a helicopter to go and pay workers. Because Bundibujo, there's only one road which leads to Bundibujo, and at times it would be cut off because of landslides. And then the government had to fly money to Bundibujo to pay people those days. But now, payment of workers or any other payments are completely digital. You don't have to carry physical money. If you want to appreciate some of the changes which have happened, if I asked you, when did you last go to a banking hall, probably to withdraw money or even deposit money? Maybe some of you will say, I don't even remember. Because through a phone, you can do most of these transactions. There's somebody in the constituency who was saying, you were supposed to send me Mabugo money, funeral condolence. So he had called me, so I reached, he was sending me a message now. Now I had to get the money from my account, put on the phone, and send it to him. But if it was those days, I would have asked, sir, you excuse me, first go to the bank. Then you find a line in the bank. Then you are probably withdrawing only 200,000 or 300,000. Then now you deposit on the other person's account. Then the other person maybe is at the home, say, let me also go to the bank to withdraw it. But because of technology, within just seconds, you can facilitate that transaction and it is seamless. And that's where we are going. We would want all transactions, all processes to be digital. These days we are speaking of corruption in this country. And I have told the cabinet and the president that the one way of reducing or curbing or eliminating corruption is to digitalize most of these transactions and processes. When transactions are manual, and I have to appear before Sarah for her to sign for me something, that's where temptations come to say, you first pay me, I am processing a payment of 50 million, you will have to give me like 5. But if the transactions are digital and you are not facing each other, that reduces these risks of corruption. So we have to digitalize our processes, and among other benefits, that also helps us to fight corruption. Like procurement, we have developed a digital platform to facilitate procurement, and a number of government agencies are now already using that system, and we are supporting the other ministries and government departments to completely go digital on the question of procurement and many other services. So it's imperative that we must go digital if we are going to have accelerated transformation. Is that on yours? So, but if it's for somebody else, you must chemically absorb it. Absorb the happy birthday wishes. We have also put in place a number of policies and legislations to address the issue of digital transformation, but definitely as technologies evolve, we must continue looking at the policies and the laws, and we enact appropriate laws and put in place policies to address these emerging technologies, like artificial intelligence. We are now working with some partners, including UNESCO, to see how we come up with a policy and eventually a law to address AI and other emerging technologies. Because you see, do you know, through artificial intelligence, one can clone your voice or the voice of the president, and he announced that they have sacked me when he actually it's not the president who is sacking you. I'm giving an example. Or he has appointed you somebody when it is just AI manipulated a kind of process. I'm just giving examples. So technology has the positive and the beneficial side, but also we must be alive to the fact that there is a negative side of technology which we must be prepared to address. And indeed, you were raising some of the issues. How safe is our data, issues of cyber security. The other day I saw, some months back, I saw a report, either New Vision or one of the main papers, where somebody was hacking people's accounts and had stolen, it was how many billions? Was it 15 or what? It was a very threatening story, how somebody had been hacking into people's accounts and had run away with billions of money. So as a ministry, as a government, we are also trying to see how we have the relevant technologies to help us address the downside of technology. Because while technology is beneficial, but also there are those other challenges that come with it. We still need to invest more in digital literacy so that all of us are on board. And we must not leave anybody behind. We must address all sorts of divides, the gender divide, the age divide, because the other day I was presenting in the cabinet and the minister for older persons asked me, why are you leaving us, the older persons, behind? Much as we were born much earlier, but technologies have come and we want to be part of this technology revolution. And I asked him, okay, you write proposals on what you'd want. But reminded me of my late mother. You know, there is this now tendency that us who are in Kampala, we buy phones for our old parents and our old relatives in the village so that we can communicate. So I bought a phone for my mother. She's no longer there now. And then I think they set it for her. They put in a vibration. Then she kept the phone here in her dress. Now, when somebody called, it vibrated. First, she thought it was a snake which had entered. And she almost got a fracture. He fell down and was crying. Something had entered. When they came, they thought it was just a phone, which was vibrating. So, digital literacy definitely is very key across all ages, and we must address all those gaps, including the age gap. Some of the issues that you are raising, how safe is our data? We are trying much. The many interventions which I have made reference to are also to enable us attain what we call digital sovereignty. Because we have an office established by law on data protection and safety. It's housed under NITAU, although it is semi-independent. So in terms of legislation, in terms of policies, we're okay, but also we are trying to see in terms of technologies to ensure that our data is safe. We have data centers. We still keep and store our own data, but we are also now in advanced stages of developing our own cloud, national cloud. Because you find in some countries, national data is stored elsewhere. And you can't be sure where that data is stored, how it is accessed, and how it is manipulated, and so forth and so forth. So we are building our own systems to address this issue of data security. We have our data centers, but also we are going to supplement them with the national cloud so that we are able to store and have our data, both government and even the private sector, that all the data is stored here. But also building capacity within the country for own experts to be able to come up with solutions and innovations to address most of the IT challenges that we face. The question of internet access, yes, like I said, we have laid the fiber. We've covered half of the country. We have resources to extend and cover the rest of the country. But also we are discussing at the East African region level as ministers of ICT, supported by our presidents, to see whether we can have a regional satellite facility to supplement the other forms of sources of internet. Because the downside of the optic fiber is that in mountainous areas like the Ergon, like Chigezi, like Gwenzoris, you get internet and data shadows. And also in areas like Lake Victoria, where there are fishing activities and other economic activities, you find laying the fiber can be a challenge. So we want to supplement the fiber with satellite technology so that we have connectivity from corner to corner. But also we hope that once we have covered the country with the fiber, we shall get many more people hooked on the internet, and that in itself will contribute to the lowering of the cost of data and internet services. But we are also engaging the wider government on the issue of taxation, taxing IT-related devices. The other day, actually, we had a discussion with the cabinet. The last cabinet, it was a subject of discussion, and the president requested us to do more assessment. We would want to remove all taxes on IT-related services and devices because we want to make internet affordable. The president tasked us to use ICT to create employment for young people. There is what we call BPOs, business process outsourcing, which can be in the country or offshore. One of the challenges we have faced in promoting offshore BPOs. Offshore BPOs means you are an expert, a professional here. You can be employed in the US, in Australia, in Asia, in Europe, and you do the work from here. But requires reliable internet, which is affordable, which is available. If you are doing this work from Karamoja and the internet is not there or it's not reliable, it becomes very difficult now for that company to employ you. So we are looking at the IT ecosystem to make it friendly so that access to internet can be addressed and all of us can be able to operate. Because like I said, it's now inevitable that we have to embrace technology. Whether you want to use it for education, for healthcare, for whichever discipline you look at it. So the factors affecting internet access are being addressed. One of the factors is the cost of devices. The cost of that mobile phone, a smartphone, the cost of a computer, a laptop, an iPad, and we are addressing this through many arrangements. One of them is the issue of addressing the tax regime. The other is that we are trying to attract technology companies to come and assemble and manufacture these devices from here. And they have already started coming. In Mbale, they are already manufacturing computers and mobile phones. The other day I launched a mobile phone manufactured in Mbale, and it is much way cheaper compared to the phones which we import. And the quality is as good as any other phone that you are using. There is also another company in Namanve which assembles phones and computers, but the last time I checked on it, I think their market is more outside Uganda than within Uganda. But we are trying to talk to many companies to come and manufacture these devices from here, and many have already been licensed. And that way, it should be able to address the cost of these smart devices, and that will also address the question of access and penetration of internet services and uptake of these uptake. Technology is good, but one of the downsides is that when you look at the population of Uganda, the population of Uganda is largely young. Even in the room I see many of you are young people. But to a large extent, we are also misusing this technology, especially when it comes to social media communication. We would like to appeal to Ugandans that let's use technology, let's use digital communication for development and for making progress as a country and for transformation of our society. But most often you, the young people, if I give you, say, 5,000 shillings, a young person now will most likely go and buy data. so that he's compliant, IT compliant, and can communicate with the rest of the others. And then what is he communicating? Is either insulting a politician, or abusing us who are in the parliament and the government. Yes, you can abuse that freedom, but how has it helped you as a young person? I have social media groups from Kanungu, where I come from. 24 hours, they are just, a number of them just abusing us, those who don't support you. Then I tell them, but even if you abuse me for 48 hours, I am still a government minister until when the president says maybe I have relieved you. Why wouldn't you use that social media platform to champion a cause that can develop our area? And I have seen some social media groups actually using social media communication to mobilize issues to do with transformation. They say, let's do a water project in our area. A gravity scheme in our community may require probably 20 or 15 million shillings. Can we contribute? And people contribute, then you can come to the MP, you our MP also contribute for us, or lobby for us, Ministry of Water to supplement. That way you are using the communication positively. But to be on the social media platform and you are just in abuses, insulting leaders day in, day out. So how does it help you as young people? So my appeal that while we do not curtail your freedoms to communicate and speak your minds, but I think let's try to see how to use digital communication much more positively to improve our lives, rather than just going into misinformation, disinformation, falsehoods. Somebody just goes on his phone and declares the president dead, when he knows the president is alive. So how does it help you? Surely. And let me tell you, we have capacity, we have technology that traces to know who has originated a social media post. That's what we have. And we have a law on computer misuse. Only sometimes when we trace the originators of these posts, many of them are outside the country. There are people who are in Canada, in the US, in Europe, Ugandans who live outside, who sometimes even don't appreciate the local situation here, but they just go and post anything that is not really contributing to our development. So we are even now exploring technologies, and they are available, that can help us filter what people post or what people publish. Because social media communication has promoted what we call citizen journalism, where anybody can write and publish anything, whether true or not true. So through this project, we shall be engaging on some of these initiatives. I know when we install this technology, some of you will start saying you are curtailing our freedoms. But really but freedoms go with responsibilities. Why should you declare me dead when I am here talking and you don't see me sick? But you just take pleasure in saying the Minister of ICT has died when you are with me and you are seeing me. Really, I think we must get responsible and see how do we use technology to better our lives. And I see you had raised it in your discussion. How do we regulate the content? We are a government which wouldn't want to muzzle anybody in Uganda, because the belief of NRM is that Ugandans should be able to enjoy their country. And that's why when you look at the Constitution, it provides for several forms of freedoms. Freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, freedom to associate. Now we are discussing freedom or right to digital services. We believe in those freedoms by and large. And that's why they are enshrined in the Constitution. But that doesn't mean that people should abandon their responsibilities. So freedoms or rights go together with the responsibilities. So as we enjoy this space, let's remind ourselves that we need also to be responsible as we we communicate. And you raise the question of regulation, how much? It's a debate which we can continue having, say, through this project, through this program of digital rights. Should there be regulation? I'm sure all of you would say yes. So how much regulation should be promoted? That's a matter that we can discuss, but definitely any orderly society requires regulation of different areas so that we don't degenerate into a lawless or anarchic society, but we are guided by law and order as we all continue to enjoy our freedoms. So, on a day like this where we are launching our new project of ReCIPE, I conclude by saying that one, we appreciate this effort by Oxfam, European Union, and the Center for Constitutional Governance, and we are here as government to assure you of our full support as we discuss issues of internet rights, digital rights, where you require the support of and involvement of government. We are present and we shall be available. And I want to thank the European Union, Oxfam, and Center for Constitutional Governance for this initiative, and let's all strive and we do whatever is possible to ensure that Uganda remains part of that journey of digital transformation. And through this project, may we be able to make a lot of progress in that regard. I am saying this, waiting for the organizers to advise me the manner and form that we should use to launch. I see you are preparing the board, so maybe we must launch by way of signing. So I hereby, now this is what brought to me. The rest has been just a precursor to this one. Whatever you've been saying this morning has been to prepare us to reach this stage. And now I take the opportunity to officially launch the recentering of the Civic Internet through partner engagement ReCIPE program, and I wish you all the success. Thank you very much. May God bless you. And we shall complete the launching by my colleagues, also appending their signatures. In the Christian calendar, especially the Catholics, 15th of August is a very important day, the Ascension of the Virgin Mary. And it's the day that they associate with the blessings. Usually it's a dry season in late June, July, early August, and usually rains come. So ReCIPE is associated with the blessings. And I can assure you this will be a successful program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our dear guest of honor, for the launch of the ReCIPE project, for honoring our event, and for the commitment to walk this 3-year journey with us as we promote civic internet and internet rights in Uganda. I wish to take this opportunity to thank all of you for participating with us in this meeting. And this is not a one-off participation. We shall have continuous conversations. We shall bring all the stakeholders on board, and with the support of the minister and your political leadership, we hope that we shall add a strong brick to the digital transformation agenda in Uganda. On that note, you're all welcome for lunch. I want to hand over to Oxfam to conclude the meeting. Thank you very much. There will be a group photo where? Okay, so we are planning for the group photo and then lunch and departure. Thank you so much. Let's organize for the group photo quickly.
Yeah, we are taking the group picture from this background. Let's join in and take a few seconds of this moment. As participants and stakeholders, let's try to join the group picture. We are trying to smile also, saying ReCIPE. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. At this point, lunch is ready. I'm presuming we've all received our coupons. And you know where it is? And
The lunch area is downstairs next to the pool. You'll see a dining area and there'll be people to assist you. You need to call someone called Barbara to confirm about the coupons.
yeah, Barbara has called me. She says we are 42 people here.
But I've given out all of them. The